Good morning, Molly. The Trump administration says they want accountability in Minnesota, so they've taken a series of actions that they say will continue until there's proof that the alleged fraud has stopped. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is suspending nearly $129 million in USDA awards to the state of Minnesota and city of Minneapolis. She's highlighting the $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud scheme, which she says involved USDA funding. Rollins is now giving state and local leaders 30 days to hand her agency justification for the federal dollars the state spent from January 20th of last year to now. The Treasury Department is acting too. Secretary Scott Bessent says the agency is auditing financial institutions that help process funds in Minnesota. And it's also investigating 4 money services businesses in the state.
Our team at FinCEN has just provided formal notification to these businesses that they are under investigation.
But the administration is hitting a legal roadblock. Earlier this week, it froze $10 billion in federal aid for social services in 5 Democrat-led states, including Minnesota, California, and New York, over the concerns about fraud. A federal judge has blocked the move for now after state officials argued it could put vulnerable Americans in jeopardy.
If he doesn't happen to like blue states, I guess that's a personal preference for him. But what he can't do is use the law to punish people who just because he doesn't like them.
The block is valid for 14 days to give both sides time to hand in more extensive legal arguments. Molly.
Madeleine Rivera, thank you very much. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is calling this all an assault on his state.
We're exhausted as Americans, and this relentless assault on Minnesota, for whatever reason, is just cruel now. It has reached cruelness. So please, just give us a break. And if it's me, you're already getting what you want. But leave my people alone. Leave our state alone.
My next guest has no plans of leaving Minnesota alone. South Carolina Congresswoman Mace sits on the House Oversight Committee, and she joins me now. Thank you very much, Congresswoman, for giving us your time on this Saturday morning. I do want to ask, the governor's pushing back there, Governor Walz, but is Minnesota a special case? Is there something, remarkable happening here that takes extra focus?
Minnesota under Governor Walz is completely and totally broken. But you talk about cruel and an assault. We all just witnessed the cell phone video of the ICE agent who was assaulted by a vehicle the other day. Cruel. I want to know why the wife hasn't released her version of the cell phone video and audio of her telling her wife to drive, baby, drive. But under Governor Walz, I think what he is doing requires special attention from the President of the United States, from different federal agencies, not just for the amount of fraud, but for the violence that Governor Walz and other Democrats in Minnesota are inciting against law enforcement and ICE agents. And I believe that Governor Walz should be investigated for many, many things and probably prosecuted.
On that subject, moving forward, he has been requested, his invitation has been issued for him to come down to the House Oversight Committee and speak on February 10th. Do you believe that subpoenas will be coming down and that he would be required to speak? Do you think he'll come willingly? He tries to make a case in public when he steps up to those microphones.
If he does not respond and does not come willingly, I have confirmation from the Oversight Chairman Comer that we will subpoena him and force him to show up. I have many questions that demand many answers for the American people and for Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota deserves to know the truth, what their governor did, and more importantly, what he did not do, and what he may be involved in fraud-wise.
And I want to get your perspective on what you say to people in Minnesota that legitimately need the programs, that need food assistance, that need health care assistance, that need all of the help, that the freeze, which at least right now a federal judge appears to have put a pause on in some states, wouldn't happen. And this could affect innocent families as the fraud is being prosecuted, the tens of billions of lost are being investigated. Your thoughts for all of those innocents that could potentially be affected?
Well, this is for everybody across the country. When we have this level of fraud, waste, and abuse, it takes away resources from every single child, every single family member, every single disabled person who really, truly needs those resources. And so that's why I would asked the Minnesota people to demand that their lawmakers come clean as soon as humanly possible, as has been demanded by the Department of Agriculture, the Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary Besson, and other agencies, so they can get to the bottom of this and get those payments to people who actually need it. But what we can't do is waste billions, maybe trillions of dollars on this kind of fraud, and that's not getting to the people who need it and takes away resources from those families. And so we got to have an honest conversation about it. But it's not just Minnesota. There's fraud in every state in the country. And states have a requirement, I believe, and a responsibility. Governors have a responsibility to be good stewards of federal tax dollars also.
Yeah, that's a great point, that these fraud investigations are going to be expanded, likely to be a very hot 2026 election issue. What do you say to folks that say that blue states seem to be targeted more than red states? When you say every state, should every state be delved into and this fraud found and the Americans get to keep their money in their pockets?
Every single state. In fact, I voted that way earlier this week when Democrats tried to get a Republican state subpoenaed and get investigation over fraud. I voted for that. I do believe that the fraud in blue states is significantly higher than Republican states, but every state, if there's fraud happening or abuse and waste, then we should get to the bottom of it, regardless of political affiliation. And that's why I've always been very consistent in my record in that.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.